is what about worker compensation insurance for real estate brokers? Is that even something that you can get, or how does that work?
Yes, you can get workers' compensation for real estate brokers. Yes,
Yeah, so
I
actually, I
have
was going to
yeah.
push
Go
Okay.
you
ahead.
into, let's talk in general about workers' comp and how is that being um, impacted, and then move that into specifically about real estate brokers.
I have not seen workers' comp being impacted. The insurance market was starting to get a little harder, meaning the premiums were going up and there was less capacity because the reinsurance market from 2019 on the disaster side. So I'm talking about hurricanes, tornadoes, et cetera, in the United States. So the reinsurance market was starting to get a little bit tight. So the premiums were going up a little bit depending on what classification you are and what kind of business you were. So if you were a manufacturer, distributor, or wholesaler, depending on what you do, the premiums might be going up accordingly. As far as workers' comp, I haven't seen it. It's pretty competitive in the state of California. It's pretty competitive in the state of New York. There's a lot of different workarounds where you can outsource your workers' comp to a professional employee organization, like I talked about with like a TriNet that we partner with. From that standpoint, you can go ahead and outsource it and get a very preferred rate. If you're a distressed market and if you're a contractor or a construction, that's a higher rate, higher classification, or even a moving company. You can even outsource that into different professional employee organizations to get a preferred rate on workers' comp without going to the state fund, which is the last resort of California or the state of New York. So I'm not seeing WIT as far as the workers' comp going up. I think it's highly competitive, especially in
It's highly
California.
competitive now, but we actually do have a question that while premiums haven't gone up at this point, do you expect to see large increases once the dust settles?
I think you'll see increases across the board. You might see it in workers' comp. You definitely will probably see it in property. That's remains to be seen. But I do think as this plays out, there definitely will be more and more, I would say, pressure from the insurance companies, not only to pay out the claims, but to look at their margins and increase the premiums accordingly. Currently, there's 3 or 4 carriers out there that we represent that are not canceling policyholders for non-payment of premium. So it's, I told someone the other day, it's like the wild, wild west. I mean, it changes every day, just like the news that we get about this changes every minute. I do think it will change, and you can probably get increases later this year or next year. So anything's possible. I'm not seeing it currently, but it's not like healthcare where I'm already talking to insurance companies and they're looking at 10 to 25% increases, which is substantial.